So it's 5 phases. It's the acquisition phase, which everyone loves. I went to a few boot camps. I kind of peeped out the scene and the landscape when I first got in. I've done a lot. Joe, what? I've done everybody's podcast, right? So, I go to the same kind of workshops, and everybody's talking about, how you build wealth in real estate, and all they do is focus on the acquisition side. Everything's about the underwriting. Everything's about the due diligence process. These are all important, but it's just one phase of this process. So it's just phase 1. The acquisition phase, which is buying on the income approach. Then it's the implementation phase. Then you move into stabilization, then growth, and then the exit strategy. Those are the 5 phases. I know a lot of people that have written books just on this phase and have done quite well. Tons of podcasts and people, saying, hey, look, I'm an expert, I'm a guru, and they are in this particular area. Ask them to manage it, and they say, oh, well, we got somebody that does that third party. Or if you go to a boot camp, and they get to the management side and they talk about the implementation, they say, hire a property management, third party, credible property manager, and then they move on to the next slide. But nobody really talks about what does it take to actually operate. You buy the property on Monday, you show up on Tuesday, you got to operate the property. No one really talks about that. That's where you win. If you're sitting here trying to figure out how to put 2 nickels together, this is where you're going to win. This is what they pay you for. They pay me for my knowledge because they know no matter where they put me, no matter where they drop me off, if they give me a piece, I don't care if it's a TP, in the middle of Timbuktu, I'll have it operated and managing and generating net operating income at the end of the day. It'll have a decent cap and a return for their investors. Because I know at the end of the day what it takes to operate these properties. So very important. Then you move into stabilization. You got to know how to maximize the income and minimize the expenses. That's the stabilization, getting the property from, the value add play. Everybody hears that value add. So somebody's got to actually step in and get it from point A to point B to a value add play. And then it's the growth. You're steadily growing the net operating income for about 6 to 9 months, if not a year, so you can refinance and get your investors out and reposition. And then it's the exit strategy. And hopefully, if you're doing good as a syndicator or as an investor, you get to do it again. So I don't know what your hopes are here. You may have money. You may not have 2 nickels to rub together, so you're going to use other people's money and look to a syndication. That's fine. You don't have to have great credit. Yeah, you probably heard this before. I sound like an infomercial. You don't have to have great credit. You don't have to have, what else they say? Any money. You can get rich in real estate. Truth be told, you actually, if you know this part, it's actually true. If you got this part down, this part is kind of somewhat easy because I can show you a couple of real estate models that you can put numbers into as long as the numbers are correct. And you're going to get your net present values, your IRRs, and you're going to get all the things that will gauge the property and help you determine whether or not you're going to be able to receive any kind of returns. The hard part is here. So we're going to kind of focus on this tonight. Because if you can really understand this, the rest of it really becomes quite easy for you. So it is possible to own and operate your own multifamily, your own apartment buildings, and take a percentage, and we're going to talk about that, how that's done through the waterfall structures.